beautiful piece by Reinecke, who was one of the great composers of the Romantic period, lived in Leipzig and was very well known. He was a pupil of Liszt, a very wonderful pianist. And for 35 years he conducted the famous Gewandhaus Orchestra of Leipzig, big position. This is one of the most beautiful pieces, early intermediate level. And looking from your chart here, I'd like to point out that it's an A, B, A form, which most of the early teaching pieces are. That gives enough content that we can actually make a nice musical composition. Now, taking a look at System 1, I'd like to start with the left hand. Notice it's two treble clefs, and that just means we're above middle C. Doesn't mean two right hands. So we start here, and with the upward stems, that is the tenor voice, and the downward stem is the bass voice. So it's very important to watch stem direction when it's all within one set of lines like this, because that means something different. In this case, this is the left hand as written. And what it is the tenor going and the bass coming in on measure 2 and measure 4. A nice technique for learning how to really bring this out beautifully is what I call redistribution. Redistribute this part with the right hand for the tenor and the left hand for the bass. And then you can control exactly the dynamics that you want. So that will sound like this. Hear the clash there? So two people singing. Then we go on. As written, the rest of this first line goes like this. Beautiful. Going away and back together. I think that's very lovely. Looking at the right hand, as written, we have understand what's going on, I like to block these as intervals. So we start with measure 1 with a third, another third, major third this time, a third and a fifth. And then this next two measures is an exact repeat. Now the rest of the 4 measures I like to play as one arcing phrase. 6th, 5th, 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, and resolve. Now let's put those together. Oh, one other thing I want to say that makes this piece so wonderful. These are little tiny slurs you can see all the way through. One of the things I just love about music, and I always have, even since a child, I used to like to look at this as pictures, as images. Oh, that's so pretty. It didn't even matter what it was, it just looked nice. But in this case, they're slurs. They're like little tiny waves. Da-dee-da, 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 da-dee-da. And you always want to go a little light, more crescendo to the middle one and back off. Da-dee-da, da-dee-da, da-dee-da. That has to be phrase 2. And together. Section is so magnificent. We get a left hand solo, and again we have a little tiny appearance of the bass with the downward stem in your measure 9, 10, 11, 12. So left hand alone here, espressivo. Oh, how beautiful. Guess what he did this time? He takes the bass with the melody, resting on the G whole note, and this time the tenor gets the complementary How sweet is that? Now the right hand, we will block these so we can figure out how he's shaping these 8 measures. Another diminished fifth, fourth, second, third, sixth, 3 in a row. Resolving. Now we repeat again. I just love my little protractor. I want to point out here that I had these additions engraved so that the bar lines line up exactly. So I can go through and compare my like material easily. So in the midpoint here, these bar lines all line up. 4 measures, 4 measures, 4 measures, 4 measures. This enables me to see repetition of material, which is so important. To see, to analyze, and memorize easily. So taking that principle, at the end of my first phrase here, I ended. Now I'm going to have an exact repeat. This is like that. Same. Starts the same. Now we unexpected, which leads us back to home. Recapitulation. So let me play. This is the B section. This is where the piece develops. Hands together, and notice the balance here. Notice how I'm going to be bringing out the left hand quite a bit more. I like to think of this as, in this case, a viola solo. If it were a little lower, it might be a cello solo. So listen to this. Repeat. Breathless. And I can compare here how I will learn this with the recapitulation. Same, 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 same. And at this point, midway again, it becomes our closing material, which is different. So I recommend when you get your copy of this, and you can get that downloading it at my website, sallychristianmusic.com, notice how important the second half of this piece is. It's divided exactly in the midway. This is going to be needing special attention. System 2, the last 4 measures, and System 3, the last 4 measures, because that's where it's different. You will love practicing this way. And every day you practice, this is what I tell my students. I want to put a perfect tape into my ears, into my brain, into my fingers. And if I play it perfectly, every time I sit down, I'm never going to have mistakes in that tape recorder that's constantly going on. So I will leave you with the wonderful, it's really an affirmation to live into. Perfect practice makes perfect. Enjoy your practicing. Enjoy your perfect practicing. Thank you.